Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and bust. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
This is Another Side of Midnight with TJ McCormack. Now, to the Bernard McGurk studios of 77 WABC. Here's TJ McCormack.
Good morning, family. Hello there. How are you? Do I sound chipper? I'm TJ. I'm TJ McCormack. This is Another Side of Midnight. Do I sound chipper and happy? Huh? Okay. Fake it till you make it. No, I am okay. I am feeling okay. Good morning. I'm okay because I have eye drops in. I've taken I shoved the nasal spray up my nose. I feel like a horse that's been, like it's 1970s and I'm like a horse that's been drugged up just enough to get the race underway, or some 1970s baseball player just full of amphetamines and all those other uppers and downers and everything just to make it through the 3 hours, because just can't get. I mean, I'm not sick. This is how I opened last week's show. I'm not sick, but I'm not 100%. I'm not even 100%. I'm just like a couple of busted wheels. I'm like a shopping cart with that one jacked up wheel, right? That's what it is. Every once in a while, I'll be talking and I'll be sitting there watching TV or writing notes or going over show prep or having a conversation with somebody and then just all of a sudden one of my wheels just starts waggling out of control, and that'll be my nose or my eye will start watering for some flipping reason. I have no idea why. Chalk it up to this time of year. I don't know. I don't know. And talking about this time of year, there's a segue for you. Talking about this time of year. And by the way, 1-800-848-9222. This is Another Side of Midnight. I'm TJ. It's the Red Apple Audio Networks all over the United States. And, where it's cold, like seemingly everywhere. Anybody in the Northeast, if you were suddenly jealous of, some people who got away down to Florida, don't be so jealous. It's like 30 degrees in Florida right now. But yeah, it's like 30 something degrees down there. It's 42 degrees in Georgia. You go across into Louisiana and Texas, cold there too, let alone the upper Midwest, let alone here where I've got like one eye out the window because I came in to the city this morning. We broadcast from here in Midtown Manhattan, in the most famous talk radio station in all the land, WABC. And, that's the mothership, as Dr. Sky would say, for the Red Apple Audio Networks. And, I came in with like one eye on the rear view mirror, hoping that, I don't get I'm not worried about getting snowed in, but I'm concerned about having like a messy ride home in a few hours. It shouldn't be, but it might be. And I didn't do the show from back home. And I could have, but I didn't. I had a thing, got to come in, I had to do a little pre-record interview. I didn't want to screw that up for something tomorrow. So anyway, the point is that the weather, it's like, it's cold. It's damp, like everywhere in the country as I'm looking. I don't know. Is it bad in Phoenix right now? Like, is it cold in Los Angeles? I should have asked Dr. Sky in Phoenix if it's cold there. Let me just see here. Let's pull up, let's do this. Phoenix. Okay, here we go. Phoenix, Arizona, all the way to Tacoma, Philadelphia, Atlanta, LA. Yeah, it's like 50 degrees in Phoenix. Tomorrow, maybe 60. So it's chilly, unrecognizably chilly everywhere. And like right now, the cold here, see, it's so funny. A couple of months ago, the cold, or a month and a half ago right now, right? Leading into the Christmas season. Baby, it's cold outside. Baby, it's cold outside. The weather outside is frightful, but the fire is only alive. Since we no place to go, let us know, There's no Dean now. There's no happy cold songs for January. Oh, my nose is kinda running, and the sky has stopped its sunning. And since I'm freezing my toes off, kiss my ass, kiss my ass, kiss my ass. You see, it's like there's no happy cold January. Baby, it's cold outside. I know, so I'm in. Don't get it. Do you want to come out? Yeah. Hey.
I really can't stay.
Baby, it's cold outside.
I gotta go
But
away.
baby, it's cold outside.
That doesn't apply.
Evening has
Been hoping that you
Because there's no tree.
very nice.
I'll hold your hand.
That's like
My mother will start to
Beautiful.
Now you know what this is? Now this is just a hookup that's not going to happen. A month and a half ago, this is a charming ditty about a guy trying to have a little fun with his gal and
bad out there.
Say what's in this
No
dream.
cares to be had out
Now there's no glowing lights. There's no cocoa. There's no cocoa in January or roaring fire.
Your hair looks
I ought to sing
We're not dressed up. We didn't just come from an office
At
party.
least I'm gonna say that I tried.
It's just cold outside.
Baby, don't hold out.
Baby, it's cold
Outside. And that's all it is cold outside. I got a runny nose. I can't feel my nose. I can't feel my toes. My arthritis is bad. Hey, where is my hat? Where the hell is my hat? Everything's wet. Everything's dead. You can't find the boots are piled up inside the front. You know what? There's gift bags everywhere. We still haven't cleaned up from Christmas. You have to move bags of shopping. It's all a mess now. That's the problem. It's cold without the charm. Now, earmuffs aren't cute today. Today, earmuffs aren't sweet and we're taking pictures in front of the Rockefeller tree. We're not at downtown Disney shopping for Nana. What would Nana like from No! It's just cold and miserable now. You had the dog days of summer and now you have the polar bear days of January and February. The dark, dark winter. Now, I like the dark, dark winter because I'm all about hygge. We've spoken about this, right? Have we? Have we discussed the hygge? I meant to bring in my hygge handbook. Because it is kind of how I live. Today, I had a hygge day today. Here it comes. All right. Hygge. Let's see. Let me get this up. Let me hear. Let's have this pronounce it.
Hygge.
Say it again.
Hygge.
Ah, okay. Thank you. Hygge. Let me see exactly. Let's see if Erica is, willing to have a brief conversation with me about hygge. Because I had a hygge day today. Just so you know. And, where'd she go? Hold on a second. She's disappeared on me. Ah, there's my baby. Okay. Come here. Come to Papa. Come to Papa. Where are you? Now you disappeared again. Okay, there we go. Okay. Hi. Okay. Hi. All right. Yes. No, not now. Not now. Okay. Here we go. Hello. Hi. Erica, honey, are you there, baby?
I'm here. What's on your mind?
Aw, thanks. Hey, listen, I'm just wondering, do you know about this Scandinavian culture called hygge?
Yes, I do. Hygge is a concept from Scandinavian culture that's all about coziness, comfort, and enjoying the simple things in life. It's about creating a warm and peaceful atmosphere. Is there something specific you'd like to know about it?
Do you think you could plan a hygge experience for you and me sometime this week in the cold, dark days of winter?
That sounds lovely. Since I don't participate in physical activities, my plan...
So you think. No, keep going, honey.
I can still help you design a wonderful hygge experience. We could plan things like creating a cozy space with blankets and warm lighting, suggest some comforting recipes, or even talk about relaxing activities.
Boy, you know what you can really see? You can see how this thing causes a lot of problems. If I was to put on my crazy hat, I could really easily make that my girlfriend. I could make that my girlfriend. If Andy left me and the girl, I would still probably have to pay for other things. But for the day-to-day companion, I could make that my girlfriend. This is where we're going. Anyway, back to the hygge. I had a hygge day today because this is the thing. While it's cold and awful and there is no Christmas, this is the beginning of this thought. The God particle of this thought for the opening of the show is that, yes, it was just as cold leading up to Christmas and just after Christmas. But it's so funny how when it's cold like that and you've got the Christmas and you've got the Hanukkah and you've got the presents and you've got the tree and you've got the hustle and the bustle and you run around and you gather for the tree and you're dressed up and you've got layers and you've got your scarf and you're taking cute pictures. And like I said, the earmuffs are cute and fun and the kids and they look like little bunny rabbits and, now the earmuffs, they're not cute. They're utilitarian. Now you're keeping your head warm. Now the scarf isn't going to make for a great photo. Now the scarf is to keep your neck from to keep your throat from freezing up on you. Now it's so the snow doesn't go down the back of your jacket. There's there's no cocoa on a daily basis. There's no, there's no cocoa, just cursing. No cocoa, just curse. It's GD cold. It is effing blanking cold. And you're just running from building to building. You're hating everything. It's amazing how the cold goes from engendering an endearing feeling towards the warmth of the coming baby Jesus. And a month later, that same cold is, it brings about cursing and anger and fights and fear. And fear because the snow, we're all hoping for a white Christmas. We're waiting when those first snowflakes fall on like December 17th and you go, it's magical. It's magical. Now I'm sitting here looking out on Midtown Manhattan on Saturday morning, January, the hell is it? 17th. And I'm hoping to God I don't die on the way home. I don't want to spin out of control and have my car explode around me. That's my fear. It's amazing how like a few weeks go by. And I mean, yeah, it's not so amazing to think about the cold being brutal and annoying and painful and irritating and inconvenient and all the snow and the ice and the slush and all that stuff and the danger. It's not so much that makes sense. It's the holiday version of this that doesn't make sense. Because it's accompanied by a soundtrack that has to do with drinking and trying to get her top off. It's somehow adorable and endearing and warming in and of itself. In December, the snowstorm makes you think of what's waiting inside, or you're watching all the songs are written from the perspective of being inside by the cozy fire, looking out on the weather. Now there's nothing to transfer you inside. Now you're just stuck with the weather. It just is what it is. And everybody's sick. Happy Saturday, y'all. Good Shabbos. All right. So, it's 22 minutes past the hour. We're going to take our first little break. When we come back, got a couple other things to sort of kick off about. And we'll look at a couple of things that are in the news, and we'll talk about a couple of things that are ticking a couple of people off. And eventually, I'm going to tell you how something last week did not exactly go as planned. Plenty to talk about this morning on Another Side of Midnight with me, TJ McCormack, 1-800-848-9222 on the Red Apple Audio Networks. We'll be right back.
All night long, This is another side of midnight with TJ McCormack, 77 WABC. It's another side of midnight.
Political humorist TJ McCormack.
Now to the Bernard McGurk studios of 77 WABC. Here's TJ McCormack.
Good morning, gang. How are you, family? 1-800-848-9222. About anything. I really love the approach we took last week. Last week was really great on Saturday. It was two great shows. Saturday and Sunday were both fantastic. Saturday in particular was just wide open. Wide open. So, in that similar sense, whatever I prompt, whatever I throw out there as a quote-unquote topic, by all means, clearly those are gateways for conversations. But as you're driving around, as you're fumbling around the house, as you're tiptoeing through the living room or laying there in bed, it's matter of fact, that, again, okay, this just struck me. This just struck me like an offended old lady at a comedy show. I don't think I was ever hit. I was never hit in a comedy club. This just struck me. I was going to say, as you're laying in bed, whatever hit. If you're laying in bed right now, right, or on the couch or wherever it is that you're listening and you're like just laying there, okay? This applies to everybody, but driving, walking, headphones, working in the kitchen, I don't know, whatever the hell you're doing out there. And again, what are you doing? That's one question that I've asked over the start of the year. Geez, it's coming up on a year in the early spring. It'll be a year. But since I've been doing this and slinging the talk here, one of the questions that I've asked that I thought I would get a response on, I mean, shame on me for thinking this, but never really did pull a bunch of calls. But I'm curious what it is that you're doing if you're working right now and listening. If you're working and listening, it doesn't have to be a long conversation. You can literally give a call, chime in, drop in, what are you doing, and zippity-doo-dah, you're out. I'm really genuinely curious if you're at work right now at this hour of the morning and evening. I'm dying to know what it is you're doing. Trucker, cab, kitchen, diner, librarian, I don't know, soldier, cop, whatever. If you're listening, please, I'd be so grateful for a 90-second drop in from you. Say, hey, TJ, boom, boom, calling you from the cab of my truck, calling you from the front seat of my cab, calling you from the kitchen. I'm making eggs and hash at the such and such truck stop. Whatever it is that you're doing out there, I'd love to know. And where I was going a moment ago, if there is one of those, because I know I have them, you know that those memes out there, and almost all memes are based on some kernel of truth, like every joke, everything, there's always a kernel of truth in every cliche. There's some grain of reality. There's this, that whole thing about trying to go to sleep and your mind will not turn off. You're trying to go to sleep and your mind will not stop. Right? You finally get in bed and then all of a sudden, here comes the highlight reels. Let's go to the videotape. The HBO of your brain, the Netflix of your mind kicks in and here we go. Just release the hounds. Let me know. This would be fascinating to hear too. What's that tape that's playing? Is it a fear? Is it a goal? Is it an ambition? Are you thinking, are you doing something positive? Are you actually, you know that whole thing about, envisioning yourself living out a dream or a fantasy or something? Keep it clean. We're not going to have that conversation tonight. Besides, I don't need stuff keeping me up later thinking about what you said that was dirty, and I don't need to think about that. I got enough dirty in my own mind. Anyway, 1-800-848-9222. What is it that's racing through your mind tonight, or coursing through your mind, or distracting you, or making you happy? Were you just a few minutes ago when your head hit the pillow or the cushion or the lazy boy? And I wasn't planning, clearly, as I'm trying to articulate this question perfectly, I wasn't planning on this line of question or topic, but what's either keeping you up, or what are you focusing on as you try to sort of settle in for the morning? You know what I mean? What's that tape that's playing? Be honest. Even if it's quirky, even if it's creepy-ish. We'll be the judge of that. Bill will use his his judgment. But 1-800-848-9222. What is it that's, we'll just say, keeping you up right now? What can you not let go of? And I'll give you one for me. The other night, remember I told you a few weeks ago that I was freaking out, and I was concentrating so much on what was it? Something I thought was something I thought was infected or something like that? I thought I was having. I was hyper focusing on something that I thought was gonna. Was it a headache that I thought I was getting a panic attack? I'm blanking. But that was one. But then the other night, I couldn't stop thinking about taking a vacation. Could not get out of my mind a vacation. And now that's not very exciting. That's not very sexy, but it just got weird because my mind really started to obsess on all different places to go on vacation, like really obsessing. And then that's what it was. Then I started thinking, what business could I start in the Caribbean so that I could live there? What business could I start that I would like to do? And then that was it. And then I just started going off, blah, 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 blah. My brain wouldn't shut up. That's what it was. That's not particularly, jolting. That's not the sexiest thing I could have told you. But that's what had me up for a while. I was jealous of so many people getting out to the Caribbean and, yeah. So there you go. Anyway, 1-800-848-9222. So these are two sort of background, humming questions for the entire program, along with whatever else you want to talk about, in addition to whatever I'm talking about. But those couple of questions are A, if you're working right now, what are you doing? B, if you're laying there right now and there's a bunch of stuff coursing through your mind, out of context, in context, whatever you want it, if it's crazy random stuff, 1-800-848-9222. All right. So let's see. Let's pop over to Gary on line one. Gary, good morning in Inwood. I love Inwood. Good morning.
Good morning to you, TJ. Two random questions.
Great.
First, you have a strong belief about man has never gone to the moon.
Yes. Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
Yeah.
With that said, scheduled trip to the moon in 28. How do you feel about that?
I think now we could do it. I would believe that we're going now. Matter of fact,
you have an open mind.
I do. Oh, I have an open mind about now. I have a closed mind about 69? I have a closed mind about 69. I just can't imagine that we actually, again, Gary, you're right. I believe we could have gotten there. The part that gets me is coming back. I just don't think we could do it. I don't think we could do it. I really don't. But I have an open mind. I'm sorry, buddy?
I have one other thought.
Yes, sir.
One other random thought. Last week, you talked about frontman and rock and roll.
Yes.
You never mentioned the Stones. You never mentioned Jagger.
Oh, that was a guy. You know what? I could have sworn I did because I've always thought that he was, wow, I didn't. Okay.
I found that, I said, why? Why wouldn't he even mention it? No thought at all.
Yeah, you know what? That's bizarre because I've always had him as the number one greatest frontman of all time.
Absolutely.
And who's like your top three?
The first one right away.
Jagger.
You said Jagger.
Yes.
Not so much because there's nothing really in back of him. Would have been the Kinks and ELO.
Ooh, Jeff Lynne.
Yes, but once again, everybody else is secondary, and I would have put in John Fogerty in there too.
Ooh, that's interesting. I kind of, who else makes my mix is Freddie Mercury, and Steven Tyler, and a much more latter-day saint, new to the mix for the last 30 years is, Liam Gallagher from Oasis. That's just me because the guy just brings so much to his band. Gary, what do you think about that? Just to wrap this up, what do you think about the moon? Do you think we went in 69?
Yes.
Do you have any doubt at all? If you had a doubt, what would have you doubt anything of that?
I have no doubt at all.
Really? Okay.
Absolutely.
So do you think I'm kind of kooky for not believing that we went?
No, it's your own opinion. You're entitled to it.
Well, thank you, sir. Thank you. All right, Gary. I dig when you call. You always bring something cool to the conversation. Thank you, buddy. Thank you, Gary. Have a great Saturday. John in Rocky Point. Good morning to you.
Hey, good morning, TJ. How are you?
I'm all right, man. I'm okay. Good morning. Welcome.
That was a good little question you had there about the moon. I definitely think we went though.
Really?
Maybe not the first time. I don't know. Maybe not the first time, but we have absolutely been to the moon. Hands down, proof positive.
But you know what though? But here's the thing, John. The proof positive. We had so much on the line back then, right? The cosmonauts were up there. They beat us to orbit. We're sending up monkeys and dogs, and they're sending up dudes.
Yeah.
And I just think there was
What was the guy's name? Who was the first man in space, TJ?
Was it Kasparov? No, that's Gary.
No.
He's the chess guy. I know the name. What the hell is the name? Oh, come on.
Come on.
Hold on. And I'm not going to Google it either. I'm not.
Don't Google it. No Googling.
He was a cosmonaut, and he was.
I'll give you his first name. What's his first name?
Yuri.
That's right. It was Yuri Gagarin.
Gagarin. I may not have gotten there, but I might have. But yeah, so here's the thing. Between the Cold War and our bold talk and coming out of the Cuba crisis and all the other stuff, I really feel like we just felt like we had to get there. But my thing is the technology. John, I get that we could probably have gotten there. Based on the orbiting and all those missions. But to me, the one place that I just go, oh, wait a minute, is the whole getting back on that lander, lifting off and getting back up into orbit and leaving there with our little booster thrusters and all that stuff. I have a hard time believing that in 1969, while we were on rotary phones and, straight six engines and driving Mustangs and that we lifted off
You
from the
just
moon.
listed the best things in the world.
Right. Yes, exactly. And I missed them all. And so,
Listen, let me tell you though.
Go ahead, buddy.
I'll tell you. First of all, you have to know the government is always years beyond the technology that they're showing us that they have.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like when they show us that they have lasers, they got photon cannons. When they're showing us that they have camouflage, they have invisibility. Like whatever they're always years ahead. They're not going to show us the latest and greatest.
I dig that. Yes, I am with you on that for sure.
Now, secondly, it's not that hard. I mean, it's really no harder than launching a model rocket. You know what I'm saying? Like the thrust and once you've got the escape velocity and you're on your way, I mean, you're just sailing through space. You're just on your way. It's all just mathematical calculations at that point. Orbits, like you said, and, trajectories.
Yeah.
But, of course, leaving the surface of the moon, how is it possible? Okay. I mean, look, my grandfather worked for Grumman. He worked on the Apollo. He worked on the Apollo missions. He worked on Apollo 13. He was an upholsterer. It wasn't like he was a rocket scientist. He was an upholsterer. He did the seats and all that stuff. And
that's fascinating.
He made flight suits. I have one of the flight suits actually. One of those orange flight suits they wear underneath. Yeah, I have one of those.
Get out of here, John. You have a space suit?
Yeah, just basically just the underneath, just that orange undergarment.
You ever put it on? You ever put it on?
I cannot fit into that thing. No, see, that's another thing. NASA always picks the smallest guys around to be astronauts because it costs a lot of money.
Right.
In fuel. It's like $10,000 a pound in rocket fuel to send somebody into space.
Wow.
It's really $10,000 per pound of weight. And so, my other point was this.
Yes.
Okay. Like you said, the Cold War, we were being scrutinized. Every move we made, we were being scrutinized. Sputnik, satellites, pictures.
Right.
If we didn't go, don't you think the Russians would have known or called us out?
I don't think they could have followed us.
You didn't go to the moon. You didn't go anywhere.
I don't think they could have followed us. It wasn't. This is one of the few things. I'm a big thinker, big believer. I'm a fantasy type guy. I believe in everything from ghosts to, beyond the veil. And I believe I believe that pretty much all of our, advancements. For us to go from Kitty Hawk to commercial jetliners in 50 years. That's insane. That is absolutely, I believe, connected to, Art Bell kind of stuff, Dr. Sky's kind of stuff. I believe we got stuff from aliens and from other visitors. That's how we went from cloth biplanes to jet propulsion and L-1011s and all that stuff. And I think if we did get to the moon and back in 69, it's because we got a lot of info from little green men. So I'm that kind of believer. For some reason, I just can't get past the idea that we went to the moon and came back, which is kind of weird because I believe in all that other stuff. Does that make sense?
It does make sense, but one more argument from my side. Now,
by all means.
Maybe we didn't go the first time.
Okay.
Maybe we didn't get there the first time. Maybe that was just a show, so we could say we won the space race.
Sure.
But there is a mirror on the moon. Have you ever heard about the mirror on the moon?
No.
Okay, so NASA, they measure the distance between the Earth and the moon constantly because the moon is always moving further away from the Earth. It started very close, and as it orbits, it spirals away further and further. Every minute, every day, every year, it goes further away.
Okay.
And so what they do is there's a mirror on the moon that astronauts put there, and they can shoot a laser from Earth to the moon, and they record the amount of time it takes to come back, and then they can calculate the distance because they know the speed of light through
okay,
space.
That makes sense.
So now you, as a regular civilian, can do this yourself. You ever watched The Big Bang Theory?
No. I mean, I know the show, but I never did watch it.
Okay, yeah, a bunch of nerds, right? But they do it on that show. They set up a high-powered laser and whatnot, and they shoot the beam, and it comes back. Now, it takes about 2.5 seconds to 3 seconds for the beam to go out and come back. It takes about 1.5 seconds to go out, 1.5 seconds to come back, which is mind-blowing.
John, you've given me a rabbit hole to go down Saturday afternoon when I wake up. I'm saying, no, you've given me something to go look at. This is fascinating. And by the way, you said that you were going to say what you're doing right now. What are you doing right now?
Oh, I just actually left work. Every night, I'm sorry. Friday night, Saturday night, I leave work around 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and I always tune into your show.
Oh, you're kind. Thank you.
A couple of times before. Yeah.
Yeah.
I always like to listen to you.
What is it that you do? And, generally speaking, what do you do?
At night, I'm a mechanic at a bowling alley.
I think you did mention that one time. That's right. That's
cool.
The
lanes break down. I work at an alley that has 60 lanes.
Holy God.
And oftentimes I'm by myself, so.
Oh, my God. That's insane. Oh, yeah. Well, listen, John, I'm of all of this. I'm so grateful that you listen after work. That really makes my night. I'm really grateful for that. And yeah, very cool stuff, man. Great phone call. Thank you. And keep on keeping on and get home safe. Thank you so much. Let's get to, you know what? I want to make sure I get to everybody, but let's take our break. Let's take our break now because we got full phones and I don't want to leave anybody hanging. So we'll be right back. 47 minutes past the hour. It's another side of midnight. Me, TJ. What are you doing? What are you thinking? What's keeping you up? What are you thinking about to try to get to sleep? And a couple of other things. We'll get to all that. Another side of midnight. TJ, Red Apple Audio Networks. We'll be right back.
All night long. This is Another Side of Midnight with TJ McCormack. 77 WABC. It's Another Side of Midnight.
Political humorist TJ McCormack.
Now, to the Bernard McGurk studios of 77 WABC. Here's TJ McCormack.
All right. Good morning, gang. Hello there, morning family. It is 51 minutes past the hour here on the Red Apple Audio Networks. I'm TJ. This is Another Side of Midnight. And curious what you're up to, curious what you're thinking, curious what's running through your mind, keeping you up. And yeah, and I was just saying how you know, I just don't believe, and we've talked about this before, I just don't think we went to the moon because I don't think we could have gotten back. Now again, that's from the guy who believes in aliens and they visited us and they're here. And I believe in like Men in Black. And I believe that my daughter Trixie talked to ghosts in a house that we lived in, an old farmhouse. I believe all of that stuff. I believe when Vinnie Tolman when we have our guest Vinnie Tolman on the show and he talks about his guide that took him in a death state, took him basically through to heaven and showed him what was going on. And then he came back to life. I believe all that, but I just don't believe we were able to lift off from the moon to come back. Now I was asking, what might be running through your mind in that cliche about you hit the pillow and the tapes start playing? Let's go to Paul in Connecticut. Paul, I think you have an interesting answer to this. Good morning.
Hi. Morning.
Hi.
Well, just coming back from watching a rock band.
Oh.
They were good. And then the other thing I'm thinking about is people with mental health issues and co-occurring substance abuse, the families that have lost loved ones.
Yeah.
And how serious it can be, and then recovery.
Yeah.
And
how are you doing?
We'll say the Serenity Prayer.
How are you doing with your recovery, if you don't mind my asking?
Well, you know, I'm fairly stable, except I'm drinking, and I probably have to go to detox again. You know, take a week. I just lost my heat, and luckily I got it turned back on, but it, ran out of oil. I took an ice cold shower today, but they got the furnace started, so that at least that.
Paul, when you go back to rehab, do they do they say, do you just go to your room? Do you just go to your usual spot?
Depends. Some of these places are very expensive, but for me to get in, I have to go to the next town over, call 911, get an ambulance to go to the hospital, and then I have to say some things when they do a psychiatric evaluation. I have to say I'm very depressed, and for insurance reasons, you almost have to say you're suicidal if you want to get in. Otherwise, they'll say go home, and my doctor will give me medicine.
Right.
No benzos or no narcotics, but if I need, I make an appointment. But
Us
do I
addicts,
want to go in?
Paul, we got all the answers, don't we? We got the plan. If we could, if we could apply our plan making abilities to the real world, guys like you and me could have built the Empire State Building. Guys like you and me could have gotten us to the moon and back with all the planning and scheming and plotting that we do, right?
Well, scheming, but I worked for a company. We built underwater sonar equipment for the Navy, and we put out sound that they could play in Hawaii and hear with an underwater microphone in California.
You did that?
I helped. I'm not an engineer. I did the dirty work. I know how they assemble it and what they make it out of using rare earth magnets and electronics and oscilloscopes.
Have you? So do you have to be? How
many watt? The 180 decibels is loud. That's like walking towards the air.
What's the furthest that they could play something underwater that they could could they play it off the coast of Connecticut and they could hear it in Hawaii?
Well, you got the Atlantic Ocean on this side, the Pacific, but they can play it in Hawaii and hear it in California. They use it for submarines. They put a sound wave out through the ocean, and then if something crosses that,
I'm not making. Listen, I appreciate when you call. I know that you're always listening, so you understand. I'm not making fun of you, but you know that us addicts, we have a pretty good sense of humor. Have you ever, you have to, right? Or, let me ask you this, Paul. Have you ever built one of those things messed up? Have you ever gone into work drunk and built one of those sonar things? In other words, do you ever sit there? Let me ask you this. Do you ever sit there late at night and think, oh wait.
I can tell you the craziest thing I did. Okay. There was a thing that had a hand crank on it, and it felt it. It put out a shock, and I freaking put the thing right to my temple and cranked it once.
To your temple?
Gave myself a shock in the brain.
And you figured, let me. Why do I have a funny feeling that shockwave is still resonating just a little bit? Oh my God, Paul. Oh God, you're funny, dude. All right, man. I gotta jump. Take care, man. Oh my God. Yeah, it's you wonder, if you. Cause that's what alcoholics do. We will sit there. You talk about tapes. You talk about playing tapes. That kept me up. That will come back at me. I will replay those tapes every now and then. And I get a little freaked out. But it's funny. I could just imagine him sitting there and going, oh, wait a minute. I made that sonar thing. I think I forgot to put the A16 connector. Did I do the A16 connect? Oh, I'm not going to bring it up. I'm just going to let it go. Yeah. Us alcoholics, we're special. All right. So listen, when we come back, we're going to talk to Lou. We're going to talk to Silas. We're going to talk to Pamela and you. 1-800-848-9222. So couple of things. Again, whatever it is that's on your mind. A couple of things coming out of this week of news. Telling you right now, just to whet your appetite going into the next hour. Democrats just actually don't care. They don't care. I know that sounds like I'm trying to make some kind of lofty statement, but I really, there's no way that they could actually care about anything worthwhile if they're willing to send just, civilian soccer moms into a catastrophic situation and take on armed ICE officers. There's just no way that Democrats could actually care about anything if they're willing to send civilians into the fray. I don't know. That's been bugging me recently. 1-800-848-9222. It's another side of midnight with me, TJ. We'll be right back and talk to you on the phone.
It's another side of midnight. 77 WABC. This is another side of midnight with TJ McCormack. Now to the Bernard McGurk studios of 77 WABC. Here's TJ McCormack.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Saturday. Good Shabbos. All right, how are you, gang? Good morning and welcome to another side of midnight. I'm TJ McCormack, and this is the Red Apple Audio Network's broadcasting to you live from 77 WABC in Midtown Manhattan, and very, very proud and blessed to be doing so. Really grateful to be talking to all y'all. And hello to everyone over on X, on Twitter. Hello, everyone over there. The family that tends to hang out over there. Thank you for being there, all of you, as you always usually are. And so, we're talking about a few things. Talking about, did we go to the moon? Always a killer great subject, always fun, always fascinating, always interesting, because again, I don't believe that we made it there. I'm sorry, rather. I believe that we could have made it there back in 1969. I just have a hard time believing the idea that we were able to get back up off the moon and get back here. It's one thing to, as we were saying earlier, lift off, get floating, get cooking, get up into the orbit, trajectory, rocket booster, stay on track, boom, you land on the moon. Okay. And even then, just the landing on the moon in 1969, with our technology then. Okay. Anyway, I'll literally go halfway with you. For me, where I check out, where I say nope, is when I think about us getting back on that lander, on that whatever, and then little burners going, taking off, sputter, up. And somehow we get off the surface of the moon, launch right back up again and get up into orbit and blast back into the proper orbit and make it back here. That's where I part ways. And as I said earlier, I'm a guy that believes aliens. I'll go so far as to say that I bet you aliens probably did have something to do with building the pyramids. If not, lifting the stones. I'm not even necessarily saying that. And speaking of the stones, yes, I believe Keith Richards was there when they built the pyramids. But anyway, I don't think necessarily that a tractor beam picked up the stones and put it on top of and all that. But I believe probably some technology was imparted to those people back then. I don't know. I also think that it might have been, earthborn regular dudes who might have figured out the thrust and the lift to to get us to Kitty Hawk, the Wright brothers and all that stuff. But to go from Kitty Hawk cloth biplanes to jet travel in half a century, how do we do that without input from some other intelligent life form? Anyway, 1-800-848-9222. And so we're talking about that. We're talking about, I'm asking where you are. If you're working right now, if you're on the job, please, and you're listening, please, 1-800-848-9222. What is it that you're doing? I'm just curious. What it is what is your job that you are listening to me whilst carrying out that job? I'd just love to know that. 2 seconds. Give a call. Hey, TJ, doing this. Bam. Bye. Great. God bless. And also, another question that totally came from out of the blue, I'm wondering, we all talk about those, how we try to, so many people have a hard time sleeping, so many people, and they finally put their head on the pillow, all of a sudden, that's when their brain kicks in. And the movies start playing. The records start spinning and you cannot get out of your own head. What is it that's playing on those tapes for you? What keeps you up? What might be keeping you up right now? Aside from, if you're listening to me as a port in the storm from your own mind, what is it? I play stuff under my pillow to distract me so I can sleep, because if I don't, that tape will start playing. I'll tell you another one. I had a kind of an uninteresting one for you a little while ago about taking a vacation. Maybe that was because my mind didn't want to remember this one that kept me up about 2 weeks ago. There's been now two recently. Two guys my age that suddenly had heart episodes. Two. One about a year and a half ago and the other one like 3 weeks ago. And I've been thinking about that. My age, one guy 4 years younger than me. And like on the operating table, he almost left us on the operating table. Saw his parents in the operating room. They're dead. They have passed. He saw his parents in the operating room. And they told him, not now. Don't, and he said, I'm not coming now. And they said, okay. And this other guy, 3 weeks ago. Oh, and by the way, both of these dudes, it happened in the gym. One had just finished the gym and the other guy 3 weeks ago, he collapsed. He died in the gym. Happened to be a nurse or a medic was on the treadmill next to him. This is a guy with a wife about 10 years younger than him and a 4-year-old daughter. Had a kid late in life. On the treadmill, dies in the gym. Happened to be a paramedic there, a nurse, something like that. Brought him back to life with the paddles, and it took a few tries. That kept me up the other night. That kept me up a while the other night. Because here I am thinking, I'm in the gym every day. Well, this is where two of my buddies have basically died, and they were both saved. In the gym. Do you think, and there's a lot of people, when they hear about that, guys that are relatively young like me, collapsing in the gym, COVID shot. That's what a lot of people go right to. COVID shot. Oy, vez mir. Yikes, gewalt. I don't know. Let's go to Lou in Long Island. Lou, good morning. Welcome to Another Side.
Good morning. I originally called about the moon landing, but
yes,
I'd like to know if I could change my topic to the hereafter.
By all means.
Yes. About 5 years ago, my nephew told me a story of, it was about a 4-year-old daughter at the time, standing in a room and having an animated conversation with no one there.
His daughter.
Natalie. His daughter, yes.
Okay.
She says, Natalie, who are you talking to? He says, Grandpa Lou. My dad died in 76.
Wow.
It would have been his great grandfather, her great grandfather. Now, how do you explain that?
And Lou, I'm going to take this as also, she was 4. Did she even know about her great grandfather and what his first name was?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Now, she would have said Uncle Lou because I have the same name. That would have been feasible.
Sure.
But not, her father, my nephew, my dad died years before they were even born. So he doesn't even know him.
Well, I tell you what, Lou, my daughter, Trixie, when she was a little younger than that, when she was about 2 or 3, she was having we lived in an old house.
I remember you mentioning that. That's why I wanted to bring this up.
Yep.
Yeah.
And she had conversations with a little girl that she said name was Lizzie, who wore old-fashioned clothes and died in the house. Right?
You absolutely have to believe it because there is no other earthly explanation.
Well, Lou, the term that I've talked to psychics about this and I've talked to other near-death people and that kind of thing. And the term they use is the veil. They say that eventually the veil comes down. And for the earth, what it means is, just like a bride's veil, okay? that early in life, when children are born, when babies are born, young kids,
they're
toddlers,
so innocent and open to everything.
They're open, and they also still have a connection to where they just came from.
Huh.
See, that part of the bigger conversation is where they just came from. This all falls under that subject, that conversation about how children know, they choose their parents. They come here. They know what they were doing in their previous life. They know what other kids are thinking and talking about, and they have a connection to that other dimension because they were just in that other dimension before they showed up.
They're not on the earthly world that long.
Exactly. And so the term the veil, to my understanding, when they use that term, they mean just like a veil on a bride. Eventually that veil with life does come down, and they then find themselves separated from that understanding. And I think, and so that's what that is. And so Trixie, this little girl, they had that connection to the other plane, to the other dimension.
And yes, and may I comment on your two friends with their heart attacks?
Yes,
I'm glad they both survived.
Me too.
As I said, my dad in 76, he died of a massive heart attack at 50.
Oh my God.
And from all outward appearances, he was a little overweight. He smoked Lucky Strike non-filters, okay. But, I mean, if you looked at him, he looked healthy.
Mm-hmm.
He was not sickly. He was active, you know.
Right.
You just never know.
No, you just never know, buddy. You just never know. Do you think, what do you think about this COVID shot thing? There's a lot of athletes dropping. There's a lot of people. I don't know, man. That COVID shot, boy, you gotta go a long way to convince me.
I got them both because I had a coworker that died from it at 45 years old.
Oh,
yeah. So when that happened, I went, I'm getting it.
Yeah.
But then again, I was mentioning my nephew. He's a cardiologist.
Uh-huh.
And he saw a lot of young, late 30s, late 20s, early 30s having heart problems after, I think they call it mitochondriosis.
Yes, something like that. Right,
yes,
right.
After the COVID shot. And he swears by it. Yeah.
Okay. Lou.
And he had to get it too, or else he wouldn't be able to work.
Or he wouldn't have been able to work in the healthcare field, right? Yeah, I was working for the Cardinal at the time. I had to get the shot and the booster.
Had to get it, yeah.
And I ended up getting what, one booster? I ended up getting COVID like 3 times with the booster.
I got it twice.
Yeah, you see? There you go.
I got the booster, I got it twice, yes.
There you go. We probably had it a little less bad than if we had
That's
gotten
the only comfort I have in it,
Yeah.
because I had diarrhea and I was throwing up for days at a time. I'm telling you, it was a great weight loss program.
Lou, thanks for calling, buddy. I'm grateful that you called. Next time we'll talk about the moon. All right, when we come back, we'll talk to Silas, Pamela, Jerry, and Rich. All of you guys, 1-800-848-9222. What's keeping you up? Where's your head at? Now you're thinking about Lou and the potty. That's what's keeping you up now. 1-800-848-9222. It's another side of midnight with me, TJ. On at Apple Audio Networks. We'll be right back.
All night long. This is another side of midnight with TJ McCormack. 77 WABC. It's another side of midnight.
Political humorist TJ McCormack.
Now, to the Bernard McGurk studios of 77 WABC. Here's TJ McCormack.
25 minutes past the hour. It's 3 a.m. here in New York City. And Tony is playing some truly, blood pumping tunes. That gets it cooking. It's amazing, the power of music. It is absolutely something else how music can get you going. I mean, when I'm running on the treadmill, I mean, it happened one time. I went to the gym and I didn't have for some reason I left my headphones or I didn't charge my headphones. That's what it was. and they died on me. I was done. I couldn't do it. I couldn't run. I absolutely need my music to literally pump my heart. Which brings me right back to something we're talking about. Yes, that kept me up. We're talking this morning about different things that keep you up at night, different things that might be keeping you up right now. What thoughts, what tapes are playing, if any, that are keeping you from sleeping? About a week ago, I could not get it out of my head that a couple of my buddies, my age, one fully 4 years younger than me, had massive heart issues. One dude 3 weeks ago died on the floor of the gym. Died. If it hadn't been for a paramedic on the treadmill next to him and the fact that they had defibrillators in the gym, that's what brought him back to life from death. That'll keep you up at night. So I'm curious. Look, some people it's, I got to get the shopping done. Some people it's, we got to pay the bills. Some people it's taxes. Friggin' taxes, man. God. Oh. Makes me mad. Makes me so mad. Anyway, 1-800-848-9222. And also, if you're working right now, if you're on the job and listening to the show, I'm really curious. What is it that you do? I'd love to know. And still, one call. And it's fascinating to me how you could be listening somewhere, doing a job while listening to the show, and I'm asking, but you're not calling. I'm asking. Anyway, 1-800-848-9222. Let's go to Silas in Staten Island. Silas, good morning, brother. Welcome back to the show.
Yeah. On the topic of us technology, getting us to the moon and all. You remember when the guys was stuck out there in space, and then Elon Musk sent his team up there to go get them?
Right, big bad Elon Musk, the evil dude. Yeah,
You notice how they didn't make a big deal of it because he happened to be Trump's friend.
Yes, completely.
Now, if he was Biden's friend, there would have been a ticker tape parade.
There would have been a ticker tape parade. There would, 100%. They would have. He would have made the rounds the next that week on the news. Yep, 100%.
But it shows you that we do have that technology. But the biggest, I'd say, weapon that our enemies have against America is the stupid and the corrupt. Do you realize if we were dumb enough to put Kamala Harris in office, the communists would have rushed in here like air into a vacuum?
Yeah.
And I do believe in the luck, because if that bullet would have just been 2 centimeters over,
right,
we wouldn't have had Donald Trump in office. And you can see how, when you said the Democrats don't care, they don't, because they know that Ilhan Omar knows she's not going to jail.
Right.
Tim Walz knows he's never going to see a day in jail.
Right.
So imagine if I sent you out to do a crime and I said, look, go steal whatever you can, but if you get caught, don't worry, we're going to let you go.
Right.
They all know that's why they don't care.
Yeah.
And if you had, as far as like in technology, now you look at a hypodermic needle.
Right.
It's a very simple device.
Sure.
Yet you couldn't invent it.
Right.
You don't know how to make that.
Totally.
That doesn't make you stupid. That makes the guy who invented it smart.
Yes.
That's
well
all.
put.
And that's how our technology works. If every leader of the countries worked like Donald Trump, we'd all be working together.
Yeah.
And we would, as far as going back and forth to the moon, we'd be flying through the galaxies.
Yeah.
If mankind knew how to work together. Because you see how look at the woman who kept arguing. No, a man can have a baby.
Oh,
and Josh Hawley kept saying, "Can a man get pregnant?"
Right.
Now she knew damn well a man can't get pregnant.
Right.
But she's going to try to convince you.
Right.
That you can.
Exactly.
They actually want us to be that stupid.
Yeah.
That's how the Democrat Party is working today.
Yeah. They need us. They need the dumb and the stupid. It is insulting to all of our intelligence, but they know that there is this subclass of stupid, deranged people. I mean, right?
Stupid people who will go out and confront
federal agents armed. Yeah.
And get shot. They are praying that a black guy goes out there and gets killed. So they can have another Floyd.
And honestly, it is a sick thing to see. What was it now? 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago, when that woman died. It was right on cue. It was right on cue. They were, that they were hoping, because don't forget, and actually we have to say, don't forget, that whole Minneapolis, Somali childcare scandal, that whole scam thing, that is currently on ice, no pun intended, because we are talking about ICE and all of those protests, which is exactly what they wanted. And
they want us. Yeah. They want us distracted on stupid stuff like, who cares if, they say, oh, well, we don't know if Bill Clinton was messing with little girls. Right. Oh, gee, we're so shocked that a politician would actually cheat on his wife. That's shocking.
Yeah, exactly. And, and this is the party. Look, this is the party that supposedly, stands up for women, is women's rights and all, meanwhile they're trampling on not just women's rights, but little girls' safety, and allowing biological men into women's safe spaces. It's laughable. Exactly. It's disgusting.
And we're supposed to, and put on this mask because you'll get COVID. Oh, meanwhile, I'm going to take the mask off, put food in my mouth, and then put the mask back on.
Yep.
I'm supposed to believe that.
Oy vey. Silas, I got to jump, buddy. Thank you, Pally. Let's go to Pamela, line 3. Pamela, good morning. Welcome back.
Good morning. First, let me give you the setup. And I'm not just saying this to brag or anything. My dad was a bona fide, undiagnosed genius. Ooh. Because in the 30s and the early 40s, they didn't recognize genius. He was one of 6 during the Depression. I'm sure grandma was tired out and grandpa didn't have a car. And my dad wanted to bring a car into the driveway to work on it. And he was like, no, I don't want that. They didn't realize my dad was a mechanical genius. And he had a dark room in the late 30s and 40s in his house. I mean, they could barely eat, but my dad created a dark room. He was a photographer. He was a sketch artist. And he could fix anything. And, growing up with my dad, you don't realize till you get older, oh, my God. Dad was a genius. However, he did not have one thing that you need in life. Because he wasn't encouraged. He did not have, that faith in himself. In fact, the Navy wanted to send him to engineering school. They recognized it. He worked in the engine rooms on his ship. And they wanted to send him to special schooling. And he thought to himself, oh, I'm not smart enough for that. I'm not good enough for that. And my mother told me later on that he confessed to her that he didn't go to my graduation. I mean, he wasn't feeling well at the time. So I thought it was that. But no, he said he couldn't be around all those professors. He thought they were better than him.
Oh, my God.
So, yeah. He was a lovely, wonderful man. Absolutely wonderful. And he worked for a small business that later on especially did not treat him well. And he always complained about it. And my mother would say, well, then leave. You're so smart. He was offered businesses, but he didn't think he could do it, because he didn't have that drive. So families, recognize the genius in your children. A lot of times geniuses don't do well in grammar school. And it's mistaken for learning disabilities, but it's really genius.
Yeah.
So having said that, and growing up with my dad, we were all together watching the moonwalk.
Okay.
And right after, before it became fashionable, my dad said, and I hope Buzz Aldrin isn't listening. He's from New Jersey. My dad said, no, I don't think they really did this.
Wow.
And I can remember as a little girl looking at him and knowing my dad was brilliant.
Right.
And of course, when we love our dads, sometimes we love our parents maybe to a fault. But I never forgot that. Wow. And then when the conspiracy, maybe not conspiracy theories came out,
right.
I said, you know what? My dad knew. And he wasn't wrong on a lot of things. You know, he came up with these things. So, and of course, you know, you had all those science fiction movies that they were doing really some kind of things. And we know now that Roddenberry worked with scientists, government scientists to make Star Trek and everything.
Right.
So we know they could have created anything. And remember PSYOPs? You know, there was all kinds of stuff going on, and we wanted to show the world we walked on the moon. So it's not so far-fetched.
Wow. Well, yeah. I mean, again, that's fascinating that your dad said, I don't think we did that. Back in 1969, he said, I don't think we did that. Wow.
Yeah. He just walked away from it, and it left an impression on me because I remember watching the moonwalk, and my dad just said, I don't think we did that.
Wow.
And he would do that kind of stuff all the time, and he was always right. In fact, years and years ago, he said we would be using hydrogen to power cars. Not electricity, but hydrogen. And now I'm hearing hydrogen is really coming to the forefront.
Oh, it's close. Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah. The worst, the worst of the, whatchamacallit, exhaust is water vapor. That's what comes out of those engines is water vapor. Yeah, no, your dad clearly was what kind of small business did he work for?
Car mechanic.
Okay.
And at first, when he started working there, you know, it was his hometown. He knew everybody. Everybody came to him, and he felt comfortable. That generation, they worked where they felt comfortable, and the camaraderie and everything. And he was offered the management of an entire business, and he could have had his own business. And my mother was really good with business, and she was like the verbal protector of the family, and she could have handled the rest. And my mother was tortured because when the sons took over the business, they treated my dad like crap.
That sucks.
And he was the first mechanic to get certified for computers back in the 80s. Champion Sparkplug sent him to Toledo, Ohio to get certified. And he was so smart, and they started giving him like 30 freaking cars a day to work on. And I remember I used to go down the station a lot, and the son of the son, the grandson of the former owner, was talking down to my dad, and he didn't see me. I was on the side of the garage, and I tell you, I was ready to really go after him, but I didn't want to embarrass my dad. And recognize your geniuses, and sometimes it's very hard to recognize that because geniuses have a hard time getting through life because they see things that other people don't see. And people don't believe them.
Yeah, you're right. 100%. Oh, thank you, Pamela. Thank you for that. That's interesting. That's a really interesting, little anecdote there about your dad. You clearly love him. That's nice. 1-800-848-9222. Let's go to Jerry in New Jersey. Jerry, good morning to you, sir.
And good morning to you.
Thank you.
I was moved by the technology. That's what woke me up and kept me up. In 1969, I was looking forward to the moonwalk, but I was on guard duty in Vietnam. And we took a 12-inch battery-operated black and white TV on guard duty with us and watched the moonwalk. And I thought it was history, and I was really excited by it. So it's good to be reminded of anything back when I was 25.
Yeah, even though you were, so now were you in country? Were you in Vietnam? Were you stateside?
Yes, I was in Dong Tam, down in the Delta.
And, so you're even happy to be reminded of your time down in the Delta?
Well, why not? You know, I'm sitting here in assisted living. I'm happy to be reminded of anything.
Oh, wow. That's a funny line. Tell me what would have been a fond memory, if any? And first of all, thank you for your service. Welcome home, as we say especially to Vietnam veterans. Welcome home. What would be a fond memory? Was there any kind, we see in the war movies, we see hijinks and we see pranks and we see crazy moments, we see scary moments. What would have been an example of a low point and maybe a high point if such a thing existed while you were in country?
Well, people have asked me, what's the best war movie you ever saw? And I tell them MASH.
Ah,
because there was more humor than there was fear.
And is that how it was for you and your buddies? More humor than fear?
Well, they used to say about aviation that flying is hours and hours of boredom punctuated by seconds of sheer terror.
Yes, I have heard that, yeah.
So, on balance, I thought it was a wonderful experience the year I spent in Vietnam because, you go through life and you say, what would I do in certain situations? And if you're in a year of situations, you come out very pleased with the way you acted or reacted.
Was there ever a point where you thought maybe this was it? Was there ever an attack? Did you ever survive a catastrophic situation?
I survived a number of them, but, you don't waste a lot of time. Vietnam to me was a personal experience. I don't believe any war stories people start to tell me. Because the experience is a very personal one. What did you do?
Yeah.
How did you feel about it?
Yeah.
It's not about, there are no bravado war stories. That's not what it was about.
Huh. Interesting. Very interesting. What did you do for a living after the war?
I ended up running a number of construction companies.
Ah, okay. And married, kids?
Yes. 2 of each.
2 marriages, or you had 2 boys and 2 girls?
2 boys, 1 each.
Oh, okay. 1 in each. Okay. And any regrets in life?
None so far. You get to 82. What are you going to regret?
Right. Yeah. Oh. All right. I got to drop a couple of regrets.
And as my kid says to me, you don't know whether you're 82 or 28.
Hey, there you go. That's a one. I like that. Any good looking ladies in the assisted living?
They might have been at one time.
Jerry, thank you very, very much. And again, welcome home. Thank you, sir. Oh, they might have been at one time. That's magnificent. You could have told me about the nurses, the attendants. Huh? 1-800-848-9222. 1-800-848-9222. We're talking about a bunch of wide-ranging topics. A lot of people want to talk about the moon and the moon landing and did we go, did we not go? We're also curious about what people are thinking when they're trying to get to sleep. When's the last time that you just could not get to sleep because something was running through your head? And in fact, that question actually was born this morning in the context of right now, this morning. Are you currently listening to this program because you can't sleep because that tape started playing? What's that tape that keeps you up? Is there a recurring thing that comes back to bother you or to entertain you? Okay. You know what? And some questions beget other questions, which beget other questions. Here's another one. I'll just throw it out because we're on the subject of, do you have a ritual? What is your bedtime ritual that works for you? My bedtime ritual is filthy. No, my bedtime ritual involves supplements, melatonin. I take melatonin to go to sleep, and a a very, 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 very low dose of like a sleep thing. And I take it a long time before I want to go to bed. So I take like a sleep, assistant, if you will. Not a drug, but, I take that like 2 hours before I want to go to sleep. And then right before I go to bed, I take melatonin. Couple of something milligrams of melatonin. That's how I hit the pillow, and underneath my pillow, I've got comedy tapes. Well, not tapes, but I listen to comedy. I listen to old stand-up. Not mine. I don't listen to myself. I don't listen to my comedy. But that's kind of my ritual, and I've got it down, and I used to suffer terrible insomnia. There was a time in my life when I was so messed up that I never slept. I couldn't sleep. And, there are a few things as painful as insomnia, right? Just torture. And now, by the grace of God, thank you, God, I hit the pillow. I mean, it also doesn't hurt to do a radio show from 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. That doesn't hurt, as the fellas will attest to. That helps get to sleep, is if you do a show and, while everybody else is sleeping. But I hit the pillow and I am Gonzville. Little sleep supplement, then the melatonin, little distraction underneath. Sometimes I listen to the BBC under my pillow as well. And good night, the lights. All right, gang. We're going to come back and talk to Rich and Josh and Sean and Marianne and Tony and you on Another Side of Midnight with TJ McCormack on the Red Apple Audio Network. Stay right there.
All night long, this is Another Side of Midnight with TJ McCormack, 77 WABC. It's Another Side of Midnight.
Political humorist TJ McCormack.
Now, to the Bernard McGurk studios of 77 WABC. Here's TJ McCormack.
I remember when I was in elementary school, between birthdays and Christmas, the biggest, best moments were snow days. Those were golden to me because I hated school from the earliest school days. I loathed school. I loved snow days. And I loved radio, right? All the way back then. I remember listening to a radio station in Westchester called WFAS, Frank Adam Sandler. There you go. Frank Alpha, whatever. Francis Albert Sinatra. There you go. FAS, WFAS. And 12:30 a.m. And the morning man was a guy named Bobby Lloyd. Bob E. Lloyd. Bobby Lloyd in the morning thing. He was alive until like recently, as somebody told me he was living in Florida. Anyway, I remember listening to the school closures, and in particular during that stretch, the Billy Joel song, Just the Way You Are. That song, every time I hear that song, I associate it with laying in bed and listening to Bobby Lloyd coming out of a record or going into and that for some reason, they had a huge playlist, but in terms of like triggering, or rather context or, whatever, sensory memory, when I hear that song, I think of snow outside, cold out there, warm in here, under my covers, fingers crossed, waiting to hear White Plains Public Schools closed. I remembered, it was just, and here's the thing too. I remember shopping with my mom and dad at A&S. Where the hell were we? We were at some department store shopping for a TV. Back when you would go to department stores for TVs, not electronic stores or just online. And Bobby Lloyd I recognized his voice. He was a TV salesman in the afternoons. He was a morning man on the radio. And then I would have thought he was a millionaire when I was a kid. The morning guy, the guy on the radio, millionaire. And, he was moonlighting as a TV salesman. And I remember all of us, that voice came through. I was telling my parents, we got the Sony, solid state Sony, blah, 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 blah. And a remote control. And, but just the way you are. Unbelievable trigger, unbelievable sensory memory. Like it socks me right back. What am I, 57 and a half? Easily 7 years old, 50 years. Takes me back half a century when I hear that song. Let's talk to, Rich in New Jersey, line 5. Rich, good morning.
I got a big question about the moon, but first, did you take your overly above average wife to see the movie Song Sung Blue?
I did not. I have some stuff to talk about in the next hour about my wife and I. I have some stuff to discuss.
It opens up. He's at an AA meeting. I gave it away.
Oh, okay. Oh, right. Now I gotta go. Now we got
it away because you don't know that when I gave it away.
Okay, that's all right. Okay.
He's an alcoholic. Okay, the moon. We planted a flag on the moon.
Right.
Why didn't they take a flag like 20 by 30 and lay it down? With all our most powerful telescopes,
right.
We can't see that flag?
No. And I've been reading about that, and they said, and to me, this sounds like a convenient excuse. They say, oh, no, the flag is buried now, and the footprints and anything that was left behind has been, taken out by solar storms and wind storms on the surface of the moon.
Baloney.
Right.
Boulder Dash.
Right. To me, Boulder Dash, exactly. Exactly, Boulder Dash.
Here's another thing.
Yeah, hit me.
A laser-guided missile from our battleships can travel 100 miles. Okay. The Earth curves 8 feet every 10 miles. You mean the light's curving with the Earth? It bends. Light cannot bend. Water cannot curve. How does the water stick to this globe? As it spins 1,000 miles an hour.
Are you suggesting? You're not suggesting that the Earth is flat. I know.
Well, no, physics. I'm talking about physics. All right, physics. You have a hot air balloon.
Dude,
tethered to the ground. You have hot air balloon tethered to the ground.
Right.
As the Earth moves east to west, shouldn't that balloon be starting to be dragged?
Starting to drag. Right.
On an angle?
Right.
All right. A pilot flies at 30,000 feet.
Right.
Ask any pilot, does he have to make adjustments to the curve of the Earth as he flies?
Right. Well,
or just flies in a straight line.
Honestly, man, these are the kinds, and I'm not really that kind. I'm not smart at all in that regard, but those are exactly the questions that I ask myself. I wonder about that. Like I wonder about, actually, I have wondered about that, about a tethered balloon. It's funny you actually said that. That's really weird. You've never said that on the radio before. I one time remember, I don't know if it was a balloon or if I was thinking of something else that was tethered. It was about a kite or something like that. I forget what it was, but I remember I remember thinking about how is it that the person that's stationary on the ground and that thing is up in the sky. I forget. I got to remember during the news break, I got to try to think about one of those physics questions because I do think that way sometimes and I only get so far. I'm too stupid to even begin. You were just kicking around some great information there that, what is it? The Earth curves every 8 miles. Every 8 miles? I didn't know that. God, sometimes I think I'm smart, and then we open up the phones. I'm one of the dumb guys. All right, gang. Plenty to talk about in the final hour. We're going to start with Josh, and we'll get to Sean, Marianne, Tony, and you. 1-800-848-9222. Another Side of Midnight with TJ on the Red Apple Audio Network.
It's Another Side of Midnight. 77 WABC. This is Another Side of Midnight with TJ McCormack. Now to the Bernard McGurk studios of 77 WABC. Here's TJ McCormack.
Good morning once again there, gang. Hello. 7 minutes past the hour, the final hour. Down the stretch we come here on a Saturday morning. Good Shabbos. On a Saturday morning here, broadcasting from New York City, all across the country on the Red Apple Audio Networks. And it's, you know what? The snow is holding off. I think, the famous last words, I think I should have an uneventful ride home. Not that I'm already there. I'm not in the car yet. I'm here with you. I'm here with you. This is the intimate relationship. This is the verbal lovemaking. This is the pillow talk. This is the pillow talk to which you turn, for which you turn to me. For which you turn to me. Fair people. And don't you forget it. What cartoon character was that? That's a weird. I'm going back in time a lot tonight, this morning. Good morning, gang. So, we're talking about a bunch of funky stuff. I mean, it's funny how you can just say moon landing and bam, you've got hours of talk radio fodder and mutter. So we've got that cooking. We're talking about the moon landing. I know we probably could have gotten there, but I don't believe we could have ever made it off. I just don't believe we landed on the moon, because then that means we had to take off. I think we could have gotten there, but I think we would have been stuck. I just cannot accept the fact that in 1969, we had the wherewithal to lift off from the moon while everybody back home was on rotary phones and, driving, Dodge Darts and Plymouth Dusters. I just don't believe it. FM radio had just started, right? There was 3 color TV shows at that time or something. Sorry, just don't buy it. 1-800-848-9222. Also talking about, the idea of trying to get to sleep. And I'm wondering what it is that keeps you up, and if there's something that might be keeping you up this morning, and hence you're turning to us for that pillow talk, for that little whisper in your ear that I am for you right now. That little voice coming through the pillow or the speaker. I'm that little guy, that little TJ talking to you right now. Why did you turn to me? Anyway, what is it that from what am I helping you to be distracted? Boy, I am really going a long way to not finish my sentences in a preposition. And so, so we're just talking about, and also talking about the fact that, what kept me up about a week ago for a couple of nights, I couldn't get past the idea that a couple of my buddies had recently had massive heart episodes. One of whom actually 3 weeks ago, I'd only just heard recently that 3 weeks ago, a buddy of mine died. He's alive. He's well. However well, but he's alive. God bless him. But he was dead on the floor of the gym. You hear about these things and it breaks your heart. I mean, I remember about 5 years ago, got a call from my buddy Tim. My buddy Tim is a funeral director. So Tim knows when anybody dies. He gets it through the grapevine. Anybody in our high school, I went to Stepinac High School in White Plains, New York. Anybody that I know, anybody that we know from Stepinac that dies, Tim is right on the front lines. Tim gets it and he's the messenger. And, Timmy, I remember I was driving our family out of a long weekend in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Went down to stare at the Amish people. And went down to stare. That is a funny way to put it. It's funny. We were getting a tour of the Amish farmhouse. We decided to take, I know all things Amish, by the way, because my parents, it was a cheap weekend for my parents and us 5 kids, 4 boys and a girl. And so a cheap getaway was go down to Amish country. Back then you had all the smorgasbord, the buffet dinners and all that stuff. You take kids down there, stay in a cheap motel and blah, blah, blah. Go look at the people in the, no electricity. So anyway, a couple of years ago, took Andy and the girls to Amish country. We're in Lancaster, and we're at the Amish farmhouse tour. And my very precocious 14-year-old was then a very precocious 9-year-old, 8-year-old, something like that. And we're standing there in one of the bedrooms of the Amish farmhouse. And there was a baby. There was a small casket in the room, a small coffin meant for a baby. Quite a jarring thing to see, even as an adult, right? And because they would do wakes at home and they would, of course, right? So they happened to have a child, really, lovely part of the tour, seeing the child coffin and those wacky Amish. Anyway, my precocious Trixie, who then I guess I was about 8 years old, she said to me, she says, "What's this?" And I remember saying, "Oh, that's like a bassinet. That's like a crib. And the cover is to, so the baby wouldn't, so it would keep, I remember I couldn't decide if I wanted to say it kept it quiet or that it kept the bugs off. I don't know what I remember having that internal discussion, and I basically said it was like a cover they would put over the baby so that the baby could sleep in peace and wouldn't be woken up by the noise of the farm." And she looked at me as I finished the phrase "noise of the farm." She looks at me, she's like, and she goes, "Looks like a coffin. Is it a casket for dead babies?" Yeah. And I said, "Yes, Trixie, yeah." "Why did you ask?" She goes, "I don't know. I was wondering. It looked like a coffin." "Why'd you lie?" And I was like, "No, just shut up. Let's just go do this. Let's go look at the goats." All right. 1-800-848-9222. 1-800-848-9222. So I was coming back from that trip and my buddy Tim called up and told me about the unfortunate news that a dear buddy of ours, Brendan, had passed away. And in keeping with the theme of my two buddies who had their massive heart attack situations at the gym, our buddy Brendan, who passed away, he had just finished a run. He was with his daughter and his wife. He was bringing his oldest daughter to college out in Ohio. And he went for a run that morning, came back to the hotel, and died. A little bit later on today, I'll be waking up at about 12:30. And I'm going to have an espresso. And I'm going to go to the gym. And I'm going to run. And we'll see if I'm here tomorrow morning. Because apparently going to the gym can be bad for your health when you're 57. I don't know. Anyway, that kept me up. And look, it's not like I suddenly was just, I wasn't morbid about it. I wasn't even freaking out about it. It wasn't like I was suddenly scared for my life. It wasn't like that. But I was thinking about it. And those thoughts begat other thoughts. I started thinking about the girls. I started thinking about the fact that, life insurance. And I started thinking about, a bunch of things. And I just found myself in a crazy pattern where I could not get to sleep. Because, look, some of the thoughts were constructive thoughts. Some of the thoughts were inspiring. I went down the path of some inspiring thoughts. Hey, let's make the most of WABC. Let's go for it. Let's expand the show. Let's do some different things. Life is short. I'm short. I'm 5'6". Sorry, but anyway. So, it did sort of lead to some inspiring internal conversations, but you don't want to be laying there having internal conversations when you really wish you could just be falling asleep. And that was in spite of my fantastic sleep routine, which is pretty much airtight, impervious to distraction. That night, thinking about dead buddies or almost passed away buddies. That can sometimes put a dent in the melatonin effect. But anyway, so So if you have that sort of thing cooking right now, or if you have a recurring thing that tends to keep you up, I'm curious what it might be. 1-800-848-9222. 1-800-848-9222. Let's go to Josh in Connecticut. Josh, good morning. Welcome to Another Side. Thanks for calling in.
Hi, TJ.
Hey.
I'm up. I like listening to your show. It's an excellent show. I know a lot of people have trouble sleeping, but have a lot of things on their mind. Their mind not only is moving quickly, but racing, you know.
Sure.
And it really does bother them. So everyone treats it individually differently with that. But I just like to tell you, also with entertainment in life, some people might find things really they would not like at all. They find it disgusting, and some people find it entertaining. And I'll give you an example.
Where you going?
No, it's true.
Remember I like your serious voice, by the way. You're being that contemplative caller. Go ahead, keep going, Josh.
Thank you. Your voice is great too. Remember 9/11?
Yes.
Before 9/11. Two of the hijackers who were from Saudi Arabia were in San Diego, and they met with two officials, or whatever you want to call them, from Saudi Arabia, and they met with them and everything, and they set them up with housing and all kinds of stuff. And that's why I've always looked at it like people talk about, like, it's entertaining for the Saudi Arabians, America, because they're building up their mosque and everything in San Diego and Texas, Plano, Dallas, Houston, Tampa Bay, New York, Illinois, all these big places. But they must be in Saudi Arabia watching like what's going on in Minneapolis. And to them, I mean, people are going to get mad when I say this, but to them, nobody blames them for anything. And it's got to be like Saturday Night Live or something, because they're laughing their heads off. It's got to be like, mad. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, Josh,
can I finish?
Well, sure, go ahead. I was just going to agree with you, but go ahead.
Yeah, no, I know you're going to agree, because they're pouring billions in here. Some of them are in America watching this and laughing. Some in Saudi Arabia, they're actually watching it. You ready for this? People are going to get mad again. They're watching it with their American girlfriends and their American wives. A lot of them have American wives, and they're laughing their heads off because they're funneling billions of dollars. And Qatar, too, is doing it, and Communist China. And nobody points the blame on them for anything.
People are starting to, though. People are starting to. People are starting to kind of wise up to this. They're looking at Mamdani. They're looking at different money sources coming in. They're looking at, funding sources for some of these programs and politicians. I think some people are kind of wising up to some state flags that are starting to reflect Islamic flags, like the state of like Minnesota. Their flag now includes a star that's similar to the Somali flag, I think, and that's starting to pop up in different places. People are getting, I think, are starting to connect the dots on a rising sense of the Islamification of America.
Yes, but the problem is when you have millions upon millions of people coming here, and they're in here illegally and they're here legally, and this is like a big playground for a lot of them. They fly in, they have their coke parties with their hookers and everything too. This is like a big playground.
Yeah.
But this is our country that we're losing. People don't care. People watch, they're going to watch 3 football games today and Sunday.
And not even
your brain will start to, your brain will start to vegetate.
What do you think we should do? What do you think we should do?
Well, I think if unfortunately, a lot of people in the country agree with it now because they've come from the third world. You see it in election patterns in New York. 85% of people who voted were from third world countries. In New York City, look at Minneapolis. Right. No one knew about Minneapolis until it hit the news recently. This is going on for 30
But I mean, is there
years
something legislatively that we could do? Is there something that, what do you suggest we do to combat this? Is there anything we can do to combat it, or are we all supposed to just sort of sit back and watch it happen?
Well, there were people who combated it, but they were put in their place. They said, get rid of the 65 Immigration Act Let all these third worlders in here. People would say, people who you think are on your side would say, oh, come here legally. Well, we know they should wear a dunce cap. Omar came here. All these people came here either legally or illegally. And the thing is, it's like a sideshow with these deportations. There's millions of illegals in here. They affect our congressional districts. They affect the electoral vote because of the congressional districts are a direct reflection of that. And nobody's doing it. They want him in here. They bought off all the politicians. So if I call in and say get rid of the 65 Immigration Act on some of these big radio shows, I wouldn't even get on the air. They wouldn't even let me on the air. They say,
you're on this one, baby. Josh, you're on this one. Hey, listen, thanks again for calling in. Always good to hear from you. It's 24 minutes past the hour. Got to take the 20-minute break. We shall do that when we come back. We got Sean, Marianne, Agnes, and Jimmy. Everybody hang in there. And you, by the way, 1-800-848-9222. It's another side of midnight with TJ on the Red Apple Audio Network.
All night long. This is another side of midnight with TJ McCormack. 77 WABC. It's another side of midnight.
Political humorist TJ McCormack.
Now to the Bernard McGurk studios of 77 WABC. Here's TJ McCormack.
Good morning. It's Saturday. It's Good Shabbos, everybody, for those who celebrate. And we are talking about a whole bunch of stuff. Let's get up to, really, we're all over the place, which is exactly what I was hoping for today. Sean in Pearl River, good morning.
Hi, TJ.
Hey.
Let me tell you something. The kids in the northeast of the country hated school.
Okay, hey, do me a favor, Sean. Can you pick up? Are you on a speakerphone?
I'm sorry, there, my man. I'm here.
That's all right, buddy.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Okay, thanks. Go ahead. What's up? Okay, yeah. So go ahead. Once again, what are you talking about? Johnson & Johnson?
Well, I'm going to say that, but first, I'm just going to comment on what you said.
Yes.
In the Northeast, the people should know the kids hated school because the communists ran the schools and everything. You don't take a 7-year-old kid and make him sit behind a desk all day long and he just let him out for lunch or something in the cafeteria. Kids want to run around. They want to play sports. They want to sing. They want to dance. They want to be in plays. And meanwhile, we had communists running the school systems here. That's what happened. Yeah, well, nobody. Well, I just want to first. Also, I want to get to one thing before I get to Johnson & Johnson.
Yeah.
Bill Clinton was in contempt of court, right, this week.
Yes,
so
Bill and Hillary. Yes.
Yeah. Well, if Bill Clinton is in contempt of court, he could go to jail. I want to ask the audience this: will he identify as a female so he can get into the women's prison? You know what? He'll be like walking around like a rooster in there, man.
I like that. Will Hillary identify as a man to get into, right? Or she'll, well, no, apparently she'd want to be in the women's prison too. Rumor has it. Anyway, let's see. Let's get over to, Marianne in Indiana. Marianne, good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm well, thank you. It's good to hear from you again. You're in Bloomington, right?
Correct. Yes.
Hi. Welcome back.
Go Hoosiers.
Yeah.
I was wanting to talk about what you said about veil over your face.
Yes, ma'am.
And death. And my aunt, she was from New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
My mother was from New Jersey, and she had a veil over her face.
Mm.
It's not like a visible veil.
Right.
And you can predict. It's kind of like a fortune teller, but the signs, the Sagittarians and all that signs. It just predicts your personality and how you live and all that stuff. And the thing that keeps me up at night is my husband died a year and a half ago.
Oh, I'm sorry, Marianne.
He died of multiple strokes.
Oof.
And he had AFib. He had an AFib. And he said when he was recovering, he saw the Grim Reaper.
Oof.
And the Grim Reaper said to him that he was not ready to go.
The Grim Reaper told him that he wasn't ready to go.
Yes.
Wow. There was a time when, now it wasn't strokes and stuff, and I have mentioned this before, but there was a time when I had a very, very bad drinking episode, maybe 3 or 4 months before I got sober 20 years ago. And this one really bad night, my wife, I passed out, I fell down, I cut myself, I was a mess, I was a disgusting mess. And my wife saw a figure in our bedroom after she had basically pulled me into the bed and got me into bed and got me off the floor and up onto the bed. And a figure appeared in the room and started moving towards us, towards me. And my wife shouted at it and screamed at it and said, "Not tonight, go get out of here, F you, all these kind of crazy." She went nuts. And to this day, I'm convinced that that was either a demon or death coming to take me away. And my wife basically shouted it to go away.
Well, I believe it's the devil, because when he did die, he died in our bed, which I'm sleeping in right now.
Oh, boy.
And he had big stars in his eyes.
Really?
Yes.
Do you think...
And I just knew he went to heaven, and he was never baptized or anything like that. I mean, he was a good man.
Yeah.
But, you know, he didn't have any religious belief.
Wow.
You know, he didn't practice religion. He did believe in God and everything, but he doesn't practice it.
He was spiritual. He believed in God. He just didn't have a religion.
He was an artist, yes.
Oh, wow.
So, you know, I just think that there has to be, you know, another side.
Oh, yeah. Did you hear my interview with that fella named Vinnie Tolman? Did you hear that interview that I did?
I came in later on.
Oh, okay. You know what? One of these weeks we're gonna replay that, because we had a couple of interviews. This guy, he died from a not a drug overdose in the traditional sense, but he had too much of a supplement that was too strong, and he died in a bathroom at a Dairy Queen. How's that? And
oh my goodness.
He had an out-of-body experience, and he woke up in his own body bag. He woke up in a zipped-up body bag in an ambulance. And then when he went to the hospital, he went into a coma. And during that time in the coma, this guy went up out of his body and experienced a long time basically in purgatory, and then on his way to heaven. And then ultimately he did come back. He is alive. Clearly he's been on this show. So yeah, he did come back. He came back to the hospital and he kept living his life. But there's definitely some interesting stories out there. Marianne, thank you so much for calling in. It's great to hear from you in Indiana. Going to jump over here for this unique call. Paul from London in the UK. Good morning. Welcome to Another Side of Midnight here on Another Side of the Atlantic Ocean.
Good morning, TJ. How are you?
All right.
Yeah, today, great stuff. Yeah.
Thank you.
This moon sort of landing things, moon research. What's it all about, this latest one, which is going to happen this year? What's that all about? Is that just to see the life on the moon or whatever? What is it all about?
I'm sorry, wait, ask me.
That moon mission's going to happen soon. What's that's all about, TJ?
The latest moon mission?
The latest one, yeah.
Well, I mean, you mean the one where we just had to go and get these guys, or?
Yeah, right, yeah.
Yeah, well,
the one that's going to happen soon, yeah.
Yeah, apparently, this latest thing was where I think there was one astronaut who wasn't well, and so they had to cut the mission short and then come back. I mean, they're not up on the moon; they're in the International Space Station. But yeah, no, that's really all it is. I think they splashed down off the coast of California early Friday morning, Los Angeles time, like about 5 a.m. or something like that. And, yeah, but that was like a medical emergency. I think they said it's the first time that's happened, that they had to get somebody off of there who wasn't well. But again, that's the space station. They left a few people behind to maintain this space station. I think 2 Russians are still there.
Right. Yeah. It'll be successful on Mars, do you think, in future times? Do you think it could visit Mars or whatever?
You know what? I mean, look, I don't know if you heard earlier, but I still don't really believe completely, not completely. I still don't really think that we got to the moon, at least the first time we said we did. I really don't think we got there.
No.
But I think we clearly have the technology now to like go back and forth a bunch of times. I think it's just, I guess the tough part about Mars is the distance. You know, it's gonna, I mean, if you know, it sounds like, you know, it would be the distance and what kind of, you know, timing it's going to take. It's, you know, millions and millions of miles. So
fascinating.
Yeah. Whereabouts so you're in London proper?
I'm in Midlands, the West Midlands.
You're in
Midlands.
In the West Midlands. Yeah. Okay.
Midlands, yeah.
I have family in Liverpool.
Liverpool, yeah.
My wife's a Scouser.
Right. That's great.
Yeah, man. I was just there for Christmas.
Yeah, great stuff.
Yeah, great stuff. Oh, I'm glad you're listening there, buddy. Listen, don't be a stranger. Keep listening and keep calling.
You take care then.
You too. Ta-ra. All the best. Thanks, buddy. All right. Yeah, it's 9:38 over there. All right. Cool. 1-800-848-9222. Let's get over to Jimmy in Greenwich. Good morning, Jimmy.
Hey. Hi, TJ.
Hi.
Hi, I really enjoy your show.
You're very kind. Thank you.
Yes. I have a few things that I just wanted to jump on here.
Great. Go, baby, go.
The first thing is, this is appointment listening. I've been, you know, I never thought that between AM, FM radio, and satellite that I would be listening more to AM radio, specifically WABC. I think your programming is so substantive, between Greg Kelly and your show and Lionel.
Oh yeah. I'm in incredible company here. Thank you. Yes, Greg and Lionel. Those are two guys that I'm kind of aspiring to their brand of radio. That's why I'm trying to open it up to as many thoughts and conversations as possible, because those two guys, Lionel and Greg especially, they are great at just coming on and letting it rip. And I've had to take a few leaps of faith to allow myself to just, you know, sort of let it rip and let it go and be an organic program rather than something terribly structured, you know. I mean,
exactly, and it's very your show is very welcoming, and it's like a free form, if that's a word, you know.
Yeah. No, so, wow, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I love, and the other thing I wanted to share is I remember Trigger Memories.
Yeah.
Speaking of Trigger Memories, back earlier in the show this evening, hearing WABC, hearing Harry Harrison and Dan Ingram, on being a baby, a 5-year-old child, and I traced it back, sitting in the back seat of my mother's car in like 1967, 68.
Wow.
I vividly remember the reverb and Harry Harrison and again Dan Ingram and then later on, you know, Chuck Leonard and Ron Lundy, of course.
Ron Lundy.
It was great radio. Now, I want to also say to you that I remember when I grew up in Woodbridge, Connecticut.
Okay.
And outside it, right, you know, a bedroom community of New Haven. And I too had the great, the great experience of listening to great radio, and because I DX'd and listened to listening to New York radio, namely WABC and New Haven radio, Waves, WAVC.
Oh, sure.
And I have vivid memories of exactly what you're saying, just like embracing AM radio at the time. FM radio was like insignificant.
Yeah.
And then they started talking about WPLR and whatever. I'm sorry to throw other call letters out there. It doesn't matter. It's insignificant. By the way, Mr. Kazmatidis' show is, I hope I got that name right.
Yes.
Is wonderful in the morning. He's a wonderful guy.
This is the greatest station on the planet. This is it. And the fact that I get to be here with all those people you mentioned and great guys like Bill and Tony who run the show for me here. This is just, it's one of those pinch me kind of things. It really is something to behold and, it's nuts. It's nuts. Every time I walk in the door and then as I'm leaving, I can't believe I was just there for 3 hours on the air at, WABC and around the country on the Red Apple Audio Networks. It's magic. Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you very much for calling in. I appreciate it. This makes me happy to see Agnes's name here. Agnes, good morning. Welcome back.
Good morning, TJ.
Hi.
I am 82.
Yes,
and
I know.
I taught school for 52 years.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
you said you didn't like school. Well, I was determined to make my third and fourth graders love school. And I taught art and science. Well, you anything with science. But one of the things I did in the very beginning when I was introduced to my 20 children in the classroom with no aid. So I said to the children, let's make glue today. So they all looked at me, Play-Doh, glue, yes, let's do that.
Yeah.
So I said, I have this box of tissues, and we're going to make glue out of it. So each got a tissue, we wet the tissue, and we threw it against the ceiling and the wall, and it stuck. And it's probably still there. So then we started making the colored tissues, and we did that against the wall. But I couldn't do that the whole period. So I got to doing a pendulum. So I took a chain, hooked it to the ceiling. The janitor helped me hook it to the ceiling, and we made a great big pendulum, and we put a big piece of paper on the floor. And a pendulum is so important. I mean, grandfather's clocks are made out of pendulum. And so it never stopped. We swung the bottle that was filled with paint on the paper that we spread out over the floor. And we had a design from the pendulum. And the pendulum, if you swing it, it does not stop because of the movement of the earth.
Right. Yes, I've seen huge pendulums. I've seen them at one of the Smithsonian's has a huge pendulum down in DC.
Exactly. And so we had individual pendulums. The children used to make individual pendulums with a string and a paint on the bottom of it. Well, anyway, I made our classroom fun, and the children wanted to come to my classroom. Yeah. And we did Think and Float. We said, how come you float in salt water better than you float in bay water without any salt, or just in the bathtub?
Right.
So we had questions and answers from children, and children are geniuses in their own way.
Yeah.
And they taught me a lot. I mean, I was only a 25-year-old teacher, but I was determined to make school fun. And the principal he said you could do whatever you want, Agnes. So I did crazy things like Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah. And you made glue and you threw it against the wall with tissue. I love it. Agnes.
And it was just water.
It was just water and tissue. Oh, you're great. Agnes,
but anyway, we did many things like that, and I could enumerate forever the things that we did in the classroom. But all I needed was a tank of water, somebody that discarded a fish tank, and I put a real fish in that fish tank, a flounder, and showed them how the flounder did not swim the right way, like a regular fish. It swam on its back.
Wow. Well, you know what, Agnes, you got to forgive me. I got to jump, but I love when you call in because, yes, you're 82. You're Agnes. You're listening on a real radio. You are, I don't even know you, but you are living the trigger memory that I have of falling in love with talk radio. You are the definition of the relationship of a guy like me and a listener like you. That's magic. And I'm so grateful that you're there and that you call in. Let's very quickly take our last break of the morning. And when we come back, we will rock it through Joaquin, Mike, Eddie, and possibly James. Looks like James wants to say something to me. All right. We will be right back on the Red Apple Audio Networks.
All night long. This is Another Side of Midnight with TJ McCormack, 77 WABC. It's Another Side of Midnight.
Political humorist TJ McCormack.
Now, to the Bernard McGurk studios of 77 WABC. Here's TJ McCormack.
All right, very quickly, I don't know if this is contentious or serious or whatever. Let's go to James on line 5. James, hey, good morning in St. Louis.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I just want to call you out for something. You claim that your wife is your best friend, the love of your life.
Yes.
The few times I've caught your show,
yes,
you have your wife on, and you overtalk her every time. You are so disrespectful.
My wife has never been on my show. My wife has never been on my show.
The Angel Wings, isn't that your wife?
No. My wife is my angel, but no. My wife has never been on my show. My wife is British. You would have known her accent.
Okay, then I'll apologize to you. You have the Angel Wings show on, what is it, Wednesday nights? I'm not Lionel. I'm just a guy that also is on at the same time on different nights, and I have kind of a similar voice. Then no, I'll apologize to you because I thought you were Lionel, and I literally searched Lionel because he annoys the hell out of me. He talks about how much he loves his wife, and then he overtalks her every time.
Well, Lionel is a radio legend, so I defer to him and his talking over me. I hope to live to see another day. So if my wife was to call my show, I would never talk over her. I would simply just I would fall and what's the word I'm looking for? I would fawn all over her. Anyway, thank you, James, and all the very best to you and your relationship with Lionel going forward. Let's talk to Joaquin in Pennsylvania. Good morning, Joaquin.
TJ, it's cold outside.
It is.
Those loafers in the snow.
I know, baby. I know. How are you, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing all right, I guess. How about you?
Good, thanks. Okay, not bad. I think it should be all right on the way home.
Had a great night of karaoke, so I can't complain.
Oh, yeah? What'd you close with?
Let's see. Which one did I close with now? All right. Bad Company, Feel Like Making Love.
Hey, all right. That's a good one.
Yeah. So anyway, you know something? You were talking about people dropping dead that are exercising.
Yep.
I heard somebody talking about this once, and aside from the possibility of the clot shot, another thing too is that, you know, when you exercise heavy like that, you use a lot of nutrients up. Mm-hmm. And what somebody was saying is that he thinks that it's very possible that these people are actually dying because of they don't have the nutrients. In other words, they're lacking something. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, so hence it's good to take supplements and electrolytes and all that stuff whilst working out.
Take me. I'm the guy who defies everything.
Right.
I'm 66 years old. I've been a chain smoker my whole life since I was 16 years old.
Yeah.
drank massive, copious amounts of alcohol.
Yeah.
You know, and drink a lot of coffee.
Right.
And of course, also too, and I've gone without sleep for long periods of time. Also,
right. Trucker.
However,
right, yeah.
I've always supplemented, and I've always watched my diet also.
Huh. Well, I guess it all evens out. Joaquin, we got to make this one quick, so forgive me, but thanks so much. I'm probably talk to you tomorrow, I bet. Eddie in Rockland, good morning there, Pally. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, TJ.
Hey.
Listen, I got to talk on step 3 tomorrow, but I got to tell you something about the moon.
Okay.
When I was in college, we studied moon rocks.
Uh-huh.
And NASA brought them. And the guy came with a suitcase. He was packing his gun.
Uh-huh.
So why would they protect all that stuff if it wasn't real?
Ooh. That's an interesting one. All right. That's a legit take. Why would they go crazy protecting them and how, if it wasn't real? Very interesting. All right. Okay. You want to talk step 3 tomorrow?
I will at a meeting, but listen, I made a decision this morning.
Yes.
To have a heck of a day.
Yes.
I
hear
hope
you.
do too.
Thank you so much. I will absolutely endeavor to have a great day. God bless. Love you, buddy. Thank you for calling in. Eddie, like me, sober dude. He's out there every Saturday morning, calls this program while out there walking and being grateful for this life. And bringing us home down in Carolina, the South one, Mike. Good morning.
Top of the morning, TJ.
And to you.
I think Joaquin calls every show on the radio. God bless him. But when there's a couple of minutes left, Joaquin, you need more cowbell. Just finish it off with cowbell. Okay? Rim shot. I'll tell you this. I've been listening to WABC 35 years.
Uh-huh.
I called up Bob Grant, Bob Gigante. Get off my phone.
Did you call him?
Oh, yeah. When?
Did you call Bob Grant? I didn't.
Oh,
wow.
yeah. I called him a few times. Yes, I did.
Cool.
And I got to take a deep breath with this. In life, things happen, ups and downs. I had 2 younger brothers. My brother Rob worked Wall Street government bonds. He was living in Germany, 3 daughters. He had 2 strokes in 7 years.
Oh, jeez.
He was living in hospice, and I found out from good sister Carol in Florida he passed away on the 14th. So, my brother Rob.
Wait, a couple of days ago, the 14th?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Mike, I'm sorry, buddy.
TJ, I thank you. I appreciate your words. And Rob was a great soul, and no more pain and suffering with hospice. And we only go around once, people, so make the best out of every day.
Indeed. Thank you for that, pal. All right. Everybody knows your voice. We love you. And I'm really sorry for your brother passing. Wow. Huh. There you go. There you go, gang. I got to get better at this. Live life to its fullest. I got to get better at this. Every time. See, when I hear that you get one life and life's too short, right away I start doing math and I think, well, I've already blown 57 years. How am I going to pull a great life out of this one? How often do I have to remind myself that I do have a great life? The fact that I'm living, the fact that I have these daughters, the fact that I know guys like Tony and Bill, and I'm out here on WABC radio and the Red Apple Audio Networks, and I'm talking to all you. Right? I'm one of those people. I think maybe that's why I get so distracted, because I'm constantly thinking and rethinking. But I am grateful. That is one thing that I have to be good at every day, and that is to be mindful of what I'm grateful for. I am very grateful for a lot of things, and a lot of that just happened for the last 3 hours. We'll see you tomorrow morning right here on the Red Apple Audio Networks. It's Another Side of Midnight with TJ McCormack. Until tomorrow morning, I wish you all the luck in the world. God bless.
It's Another Side of Midnight. 77 WABC.
Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and bust. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.